All right, so I'm about to start cooking my dough. We're cooking my bread, but I got to get it ready first. First thing I'm going to do is I cook mine in a cast iron or a Dutch cast iron skillet. Or, well, you guys can actually see this, but basically I need to preheat this. I don't really need the lid on there, so I'm going to throw this in the oven at 450 degrees for about 30 minutes. Obviously, that will be scorching freaking hot when you pull it out, so make sure there's a place to put it. Make sure you're wearing, like, appropriate gloves. Like some sort of oven mitts, so that you don't burn yourself. Anyway, while that is preheating, we need to get the dough ready. This is what I prepared yesterday. I put it in this little thing that I can never remember the name of, a little wicker basket with the cloth. It's like baton or something like that. Anyway, you can see there's a little bit of air bubbles, same as it was yesterday. The idea is I need to get this onto some parchment paper, and I need to get it scored. I want to put slashes in it so it can expand nicely. I shouldn't need this anymore. I'm just moving it out of the way. Yeah, so basically what I need to do is get a piece of parchment paper, which I always go for slightly more than I need so that I can easily pick it up, and I will show you why that's a problem later. Okay. And honestly, for right now, I'm going to use this to hold it apart because I'm near the bottom of the roll and it's uncurling a lot. I'm going to use the flour to weight it down. Now, I need to flip this over, and I don't want it to stick to this. So I'm going to cover this in a little bit of flour. Okay, so just a small coating, enough that it's going to not stick to the parchment. Okay, and then hear my neighbor's dog howling. Awesome. And then basically I want to smooth this around, make sure it's pretty evenly spread out. And then the nice thing about this is if it's been sitting all night, it should have a nice, like it's been sitting in the fridge, it should have a nice, consistent surface to it. And I can literally just invert it. I don't need this to hold this anymore. And now when I pull this apart, I can undo the cloth part first. So this is clean, never touched flour. I'm just gonna set it aside for right now. And then this, you can pull it up and you have your little thing of dough. This can be washed and reused, obviously. And now what I wanna do is, I wanna do something called scoring. To do this, you can get away with using a sharp kitchen knife as long as it's got a pretty good clean edge to it. I don't actually do it that way because I took the time to buy razor blades. Obviously, if you're using a razor blade, be really careful with it. They make handles for these things, but I find them kind of hard to control. So what I want to do is, this part is not even remotely necessary, is I want to put a little bit more flour on top, and then I want to smooth it around. You don't need much, just enough to get a coating. And this is the part where you can go online and be super freaking creative and make whatever pattern you want. I've seen variations on how to tackle this process. Several videos that I've seen recently say to put this in the oven with no cuts on it for 6 minutes, and then at 6 minutes pull it out and do a big slice down the middle, and you'll just get this huge spread in the middle. I've never tried that one, but what I have found from slicing it in the beginning is that you want to make a picture if that's what you want to do, but you also want to put lots of little slits so that when the heat hits these air pockets, they can expand. You want your bread to be able to grow. That's the main reason for cutting this. So making it pretty is an option, but that's not really the priority here. Typically, I go with lots of little cuts. So if I do like a half decent size one, and the harder you push, the more it's going to expand. Then I'm going to do lots of little slits off of the side of that. And this is just kind of random lines here. I'm trying to be real careful not to, you know, cut my hand. Now, it's just a hodgepodge of lines, and then basically I can wash this and reuse it. It should be fine. And honestly, what I'm going to do is just kind of leave it like this, and the idea is when this cooks, right now it can just sit until the oven's warm. When this cooks, the parts where you've slit, the deeper the slit, the more it's going to expand. The part where you put flour is going to look white, and the parts where it's inside of there, it's going to look kind of a browner color, and you're going to get a nice contrast to the colors. It's not critically important, but if you're trying to make it look pretty, this is one of the easy ways to go. Another option, which I guess I'm going to show you because I have the time, is you can actually use toothpicks. Just simple, ordinary toothpick, nothing special here. And you can do kind of stabbing things and make little patterns that way too. So I'm kind of shooting for random here. These don't necessarily structurally help anything, but if you're looking for all sorts of creative ways to make your dough look pretty, these are some of the various options. There are also options where you can buy butcher's twine, and before you start slicing it, you can actually tie it so you get like different ridges. I've tried that a few times, and every time I do, it tends to be difficult to get the string back off. It like tends to, like the bread grows around the string and it ends up like ripping the bread to take it off. I can't say I'm a big fan of it, but I know some people want to get that pumpkin looking bread. That's how you would do it. So I'm going to stop this right now until the oven is preheated, and we'll come back for the next step.